Hey, hello, and welcome to a new video on living life from love. And today's subject is about have you had somebody in your life who abused you or misused you or overpowered you, or in some way did you harm or did do wrong on you? Then this video is for you. I am Carolina Adriana Ma, and my channel is really about practicing and preparing to live our lives from love so we can swiftly move into the fifth dimensional reality. That is going to come up sooner or later. We are already a little bit there, but anyway, my subject really is about talking about all and everything that has to do with not being able to live from unconditional love and what you can do about it, basically. So today is quite a heavy subject. It's about, say maybe you have had parents who were abusive in any way, in any form, and it left you with kind of really almost hating people and avoiding people or certain people, and and you find it much better and easier to actually be with animals. You might find it really hard to tolerate anything dark or black, black magic, dark films, terror films, all of that stuff. I actually had it that I couldn't wear black for 40 years. And yeah, so that's one thing. And maybe you also have an aversion to people lying, deceiving, any manipulative behavior. And you find that you have an aversion to them. So you find that you're strongly disliking them. Maybe you even say quietly, secretly inside, you say, I hate those people. But really, you are a light worker, you are a truth seeker, and you want to live from unconditional love. But you see, if you are having hate or strong dislike in you, then there is a part in you that is not living from unconditional love, right? And it will affect you in your life. Maybe you've had it that this reoccurring theme of people who are misusing others, maybe even you, maybe you've had people in your life who are manipulating you in some ways. Maybe a client, maybe a boss, maybe a colleague. And it's a repetitive pattern that strings along your life, and you still have it now. And you keep on fighting against those people with your words, with your thoughts. I hate those people. I can't stand them. And you want to push them all away, and you judge them big time because you want to get them out of your life, which is a defense mechanism, right? And you're trying really hard with a lot of energy and hateful energy to get rid of them. And what happens? Of course, as a result, you attract more of them. Because in the bigger plan, the divine plan, we as love beings, infinitely loving beings, can embrace everything and everybody, no matter how evil they might seem. And it doesn't mean to love them. I don't mean you have to love them. But you remember what Jesus said, love your enemies. He said, love your enemies. And you could go as far as loving them, because on the bigger plan, they are actually showing you something. They are part of your soul's evolution. And you have, of course, chosen to come into a family or, to be born to parents who are going to be abusive. Nobody tells you that you have to do that. It's not like a bad luck or something, It's something that you have chosen. So that's number one to remember. And that helps, I feel it helps. If you can take responsibility for everything in your life, then that will help, that to know that you've chosen it on a soul level. And that also means that you have a way of getting out of it. You have a way of rediscovering your own light again. Because that's the journey on the soul level. That you wanted to learn what it's like to be abused, and then find your way out of that, back to your own heart, back to your own love, and heal yourself. So that's the soul's journey, yeah? And that's really where you need to get to. You need to get onto that level. If you want to try and solve it from the human mind or the ego mind, it's going to be almost impossible, because the ego mind and the human mind will always feel that those people do not deserve my love. I will never give them love. I will never forget. I will never forgive them. But that is the second step to do, forgiving them. And if you can, then you're also living on the soul level. You're seeing the bigger picture. So you've got to get out of that human mind and that ego self that wants to punish back. Obviously, otherwise you're going to hurt yourself, right? You'll just keep on hurting yourself by having judgment, by having dislike or even hate towards those people. Okay, so, looking at it from a bigger picture, and then learn to forgive. And really that starts with realizing that you're hurting yourself. As long as you have resentment and hate and pain, and keep the pain from the trauma inside, and you're not going to look at it, you're not going to even want to release it, then you're going to pain yourself, you're going to poison yourself. And it really is poison. Hate is a strong poison. So, I hope you are at the stage where you want to forgive, and you are on the journey to forgiving. And, it's about really seeing the other person. That makes it easier. If you can see where they were coming from, if you can try and understand that they most likely, if not 100%, had their parents or had something happen in their life where they were heavily abused. Nobody who is, whole and loving would ever do such thing. So if you please see their side, and have compassion and know that they are very badly hurt inside, and they are trying to get that energy out. This is the unconscious behavior, by paying that pain forward and inflicting others, with that pain. So when you can see that person, maybe your dad, your mom, couldn't do any better, although it looked like they were hurting you on purpose and maybe even liking it, but that's still part of their pain, because they probably developed a very big hate towards people, probably much, much bigger than yours. And they could only help themselves by paying it forward. That is sometimes the only way how people can show the world that they are in such big pain. And the abuse has been mighty strong, so know that. Probably much worse than what you've experienced. It doesn't make your pain better. No, I'm not saying that, okay? But please come from that point of view, how did my parent or whoever did harm to you, what went on for them? And then it's easier. Again, it's a step easier. When you really get that, you can then withdraw the power that you've given to them by hating them. You give them power. So withdraw that power and take it back, and then go inside you and feel your pain, and don't look at them anymore. That's the third step. To just feel your own pain, feel it, connect with it, and tune in, and even ask that part of you, the younger you, what did you need at that time? What insight or knowledge or energy, what would have helped you at that time? And then give it to you. Give it to the younger you, maybe the child that you were. And see how she feels in that moment. Maybe she already feels more empowered, and maybe she could have protected herself. Maybe she could have defended herself, and maybe not. But if she gets what she wanted, which is usually love or light, and then the whole experience is much easier. And if you can then go into your heart and connect with your heart, with your heart's love, with your soul's love, and then send that love, that pure creator energy that is running in your soul, send that to your child or to your younger self. and see her completely showered and smothered in that light, and see and feel how she's letting go of the pain, and then pull her into your heart. So you reintegrate her with your self, with your true self, and with your love. This is a powerful exercise if done, with feeling and with presence and with intention that you want to heal. That is really powerful. So I want to invite you to not pay this pain forward any longer, and to heal it within you. So to end the cycle of maybe generations of abuse, and then to also stop attracting people like that, of that abusive nature to you, which is the thing to do if you want to move forward. If you want to move forward into the fifth dimension, you've got to heal even the worst crimes, the worst abuse, and the worst, bad behavior. So you are clean, and you can cut the cords, you can move forward, and it's just a memory. It's not emotionally charged any longer. That's where you have to get to. And I believe it's possible. It might take a few attempts, and it is easier if you decide to let it go now. If you decide to make the past neutral, and if you decide to make the person neutral as well, and so they don't have any power over you at all, because that's the main criteria. Because you are a shining light, you are a powerful soul, you are an infinitely loving being, and you've forgotten that because you were overpowered and misused, and you've forgotten in that moment. Of course, maybe it happened really fast. Maybe you were a child and you couldn't think about it, of course. And on the soul level, you're still that mighty powerful soul. So, when you forgive and let go and heal your own pain, you can come back to that remembrance, to that knowledge, to that knowing, I am a powerful soul. And then you shine the light onto the dark side that manipulated you or misused you or hurt you. And because on the biggest picture, this whole is a divine plan still. If it wasn't part of the divine plan, these sort of scenarios would never happen, right? God would not allow them. But because there is darkness in the universe, and that darkness also needs to grow and evolve, we, the light workers, have given our permission to be the victim, in that life for that few decades. So the dark can actually get a little bit of our energy, and they get a little bit of help to evolve towards the light eventually. That's really what I believe is why we as mighty powerful souls sign up for these, very difficult childhood experiences. And, for me, that explains it. So, take it or leave it. It's just a suggestion. But if you come back to the knowledge that you are very powerful and that you are an infinite, loving being, then immediately, for me at least, the whole scenario is getting much easier to cope with, because you rise to your truth, you rise to your level of, being a shining light, being a powerful soul. And that soul can deal with the dark, and with the shadow side, really. The so-called evil, the evil people. Because they are inverted, really. They have inverted everything. So all the good stuff that there is in the world, they really take and create inverted and then use against us. Because they don't really have their own source of power. They don't have their own source of wisdom. They are a shadow of the light. And they are split up from the light and decided to live without the light. And they really need to remember that when they come back to the light, they don't need to feed off other people. They don't need to be the takers that they are. And they don't have to do the abusing. But that's their journey, and it will take probably a long time. But by us giving some of our light and allowing ourselves to be abused, we help them in a small little way. but everything is very incrementally anyway in the way of evolution. So, you know, this is maybe something you've never heard before. Leave it, take it or leave it. I just like you to uplift yourself from the pain, from the trauma, and come back to the knowledge of who you truly are and look at the whole scenario from that point of view. Okay, so if you like this video, please subscribe if you want to hear more about how to live from love, and if you've got any questions or anything to share, I'd love to hear about it. I could make a video about it if you share a scenario or maybe an issue. And, you know, yeah, I'd always like to hear from you. Give me a like if you did like it, if it helped you. And I look forward to being with you again. Bye for now.